Welcome to the last day of the month, 31st of July. Closing out this month with little to no data today. There were slight data releases with European zone, but we don't trade any of those pairs. So we weren't really focused on those results, and most of them came out within reason, nothing out of the ordinary. Inflation still above the 2% target for EU, as expected across most, if not all countries at the moment, disregarding Japan, of course. If we look at going later in the week, we've obviously got NFP on Friday. We've got jobs openings tomorrow with ISM manufacturing PMI. And we've also got other various data releases, including the interest rate decision on the Thursday for the Bank of England, which is expected. You can see a 0.25% increase, which I do think they will be going for. Maybe even a surprise 0.5, but I can't see anything else apart from those two options. And ISM services PMI, and unemployment for Canada, which will cause some interesting movement in the market, but it also releases at the same time as NFP and unemployment rate, which are the two main ones that the markets will be looking at towards the latter end of the week. So I'm expecting a slower market tomorrow mainly, and even Wednesday, until we get a pickup of more data releases that confirm the direction in which price will start to head, depending on the data results that come out. What trade did we take today? Good question. Took two trades, one on gold buys and one on GJ also buys. So let's have a breakdown of the first one. The first one was during London session. We can clearly see after the huge drop on Thursday last week of over 400, not 400 pips, sorry. Was it 400 or 300? Yeah, just under 400. So about 350, I believe. Just going to confirm that. Yeah, 350, 360 pips. We saw a slow increase in momentum, as in bullish momentum entering the market, or buyers entering the markets again after a push down. If we swap to the monthly, because I think it's important to see the monthly, and if you remove everything, we can clearly see this month's going to be closing quite bullish. Not entirely engulfing the previous candle, but we're getting there, and indicating to me that price is going to continue to retest this higher level zone at the top here around 2000s, and then potentially reacting there. So there's a lot of room for gold to move up, depending on the data, of course. If data comes out showing that rate hikes won't happen anymore, or if Powell mentions that, of course, this will continue going up, and obviously fueling that bullish bias that the market clearly wants, especially within the stock market. So if we hop down to the 1 hour time frame, just to quickly look at what we were looking at today, we can clearly see on the 1 hour a break and a retest on the intraday time frames, as mentioned on the 1 hour, from Friday to Monday. Beautiful entries are available around this 1953 key level. I was looking for buys to close out the month and to set up for the new weekly candle. And you can clearly see the daily close bullish, creating a support at roughly 1945 key level. So a reaction above 1953 to me indicated that we're going to go continue bullish, with DXY still below 102 and failing to break above 101,800 today. So if we hop back down to our trade, you can clearly see it marked here. What we looked for initially during London, we had a lot of range just before London open, or pre-London, I should say. Then we got a push up at 7:15 my time. We didn't fail to continue going up. I wanted to reach these range highs roughly on the 15/1 hour time frames. However, we just continued to range and failed to continue higher. How did I secure profits and maximize my potential? Well, you can clearly see it's quite messy, and it was a very impulsive entry. We saw candles getting bigger on the bullish side of the spectrum, and on the 1 minute we can clearly see 1, 2, and once we continued and broke above this range high, we entered very aggressive. We went up about 10, 11 pips, 12 pips, failed to continue higher, and I closed once we started retracing. There was no point holding that trade, because if price didn't continue with that bullish momentum that we saw, mimicking the candles to the left, I didn't expect to continue higher, and we didn't continue higher. We actually eventually, once we tapped 1953 again, got a big liquidity wick on the 1 minute. You can clearly see price bounce off there, create a double bottom, and then continue going up to our target. So unfortunately, I managed that trade extremely well. I just didn't get the entries, I didn't get the trade idea play out when I wanted, or when I entered. So if we can see, gold continued flying up for the rest of the day. Unfortunately, I had all of these beautiful zones marked out, and every time it created a nice retest of the previous resistance, now turned support, my entry or my triggers alerts that I had set weren't actually getting triggered because they were just above or below. You can see this one was pips below being targeted. The one below here, this one was minuscule of a difference. I had it just about a pip, if that, away from being triggered. So it's very unfortunate the way it played out. I had all those buy ideas above these levels of resistance being turned support, just classic break and retest and high volume sessions, which was in fact New York, and I just couldn't maximize my potential on those trades, so I missed out on those ones. Going into GJ, however, we did manage to take a trade, and you can see this now on the screen. We're going to be looking at GJ buys, nice and clear. So what happened was the 4-hour formed, failing to break 183 flat and sustain above on the 4-hour, like I mentioned. Hop down to the 1 hour. How could I have entered the trade? Well, I saw a lot of rejections towards the upside on 183. Once we got a retest, and what the zone is a 15-minute support. Once we got the retest, so we got break, retest, we got the retest of the 182,700 roughly. Clear support being formed. I was expecting to continue going up. We actually got 1, 2, 3, 4 wicks, about an hour's worth of wick rejections at 183. And once I noticed that there's no way, there's no volume, even with NYSE not breaking this, I managed a trade and closed at break even / in profit. You can see a nice buy, better buy in my opinion, down from this area. I missed it. It wasn't on the charts this time. When I did enter the charts, I had my alert set, and you can see 1, 2 double bottom form at 182,800. Better entry would have been down here once it's kind of closed. You could have seen a lot better RR. Still got a decentish trade. 13 pips stop loss. We're aiming for 6 pips all the way up at 183,800 to close off the week, but we didn't. Oh, sorry, close off the month. We didn't actually get that. Managed a trade. We just went in profit, went in drawdown, profit, drawdown, and then closed once I saw this. If this failed to break with a 3 o'clock candle in volume, if this failed to break, which it did, I wanted to close a trade. I didn't expect it to go up, and I did close it a bit up, roughly around in this candle up here, so around 311. So overall break-even day / profitable day, nothing crazy, no TPs hit, no SLs hit. So I'm happy with the way the management style was in terms of trades, obviously. And going into tomorrow and also the rest of the week, I'm expecting a bit more volume when it comes to the markets because we have a lot more data events happening. So you can clearly see here on the screen as well, we've got the 2 trades that came out in profit overall. So make sure tomorrow, low expectations in terms of volumes, new start of the month. It is August as well. A lot of holidays are being taken, less volume in the markets, but we also have some big data events to look out for. So play that bias, play the overall higher time frame bias, and stay safe in those markets.